Hello, kindergarten citizens. This is Mrs. Miller with Lesson 10 of Social Studies. When should rules be changed? Can rules ever change? What do you think? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? 3, 2, 1. Some of you might have your thumbs up. Some of you might have your thumbs down. Well, this is the question that we'll be exploring today. When might rules need to be changed? Are there ever times where a rule might need to be changed? Like, for instance, is there ever a time where you should yell in school? Can you think of a time where you might need to yell in school, even though that's a rule that we keep a quiet voice in school? Think, and then I want you to share what you're thinking with someone near you. Ready, set, turn and talk. When would it be okay to yell in school? One, two, three, eyes on me. So I'm wondering if you shared something like what I'm thinking. Although we're not really supposed to yell in school, if there's an emergency, we might have to yell, right? Like, let's say that you're in class and all of a sudden you see a fire somewhere in the classroom. You might want to yell to get your teacher's attention, right? So even that rule of yelling sometimes might need to be changed. What if we had a rule that said you could only write with a black pen, but then we ran out of black pens? Would that rule need to be changed? Yes, it would, right? So sometimes rules are written, but then they need to later be changed. Did you know that even laws sometimes need to be changed? It's true. In fact, there have been many laws throughout our country's history that have been changed over time. We're going to watch this brain pop on an important American figure. Her name is Susan B. Anthony, and she worked together with this man, Fredrick Douglas, and this woman, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, to change some laws that were unfair in the United States. You see, sometimes if a law or a rule is unfair, people have to speak up to make sure that that law or that rule is changed. So let's hear about how Susan B. Anthony helped to change some unfair laws in our country's history.
Hey, look what I found. It's a Susan B. Anthony dollar coin. She was a leader who fought for rights for women and African Americans. What was life like when Susan B. Anthony was growing up? Susan B. Anthony was born on February 15th, 1820, near Adams, Massachusetts. She grew up in a Quaker family. The Quakers are members of a Christian group that lives simply and peacefully and believes in equal rights. Susan loved to learn and did well in school. But a teacher refused to teach her a math lesson just because she was a girl. At the time, boys and girls were not taught the same things in school. Well, during the 1800s, people were not always treated equally. Women were paid much less than men and weren't allowed to do certain jobs. Many African Americans were forced into slavery and were mistreated. African Americans and women were not allowed to vote, and many could not own property, like land or houses. What did Susan B. Anthony do? As a teenager, Susan spoke out against slavery She collected the names of people who wanted to abolish or end slavery. In 1865, slavery was finally abolished. But African Americans and women still did not have the same rights as white men. Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Fredrick Douglass, and other people came together to fight for the rights of all people. They demanded suffrage, or the right to vote. Susan B. Anthony and other suffragists traveled the country and made speeches. Then, in 1870, African American men got the right to vote for government leaders. But women were still not allowed to vote. How did Susan B. Anthony fight for women's suffrage? During the 1872 presidential election, Susan B. Anthony cast her ballot. She claimed that voting was a right for all citizens. 2 weeks later, she was arrested for voting. She was fined $100, which she refused to pay. Throughout the rest of her life, Susan B. Anthony wrote articles and gave speeches about women's rights. Many people did not agree with her and called her names, but she didn't let anyone stop her. By 1900, a few states had given women the right to vote. Susan B. Anthony died in 1906, before all women were allowed to vote. After her death, people all over the country continued to fight for women's suffrage. Then, in 1920, the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution passed. Women got the right to vote for their leaders. They called the amendment the Susan B. Anthony Amendment. Today, we honor her memory in different ways. Hey!
So as you can see, Susan B. Anthony and others worked really hard to change laws that they knew were unfair. And that's part of our duty as citizens. If we see something that is unfair, it's part of our duty to speak up. Now, Miss Erica, I don't know if you know her, but she runs our preschool program. She's asked for our help in teaching the preschoolers about the colors of the rainbow. And she wrote up some rules for us to follow when we're teaching the kindergartners. She gave me this activity sheet to pass along to you. So I'm going to read to you the rules, but you know, I looked through them before and one of the rules doesn't seem very fair. So I want to go through these rules with you, and then I want to ask you if you agree with me that one of them is not fair. Okay, so rules for coloring a rainbow. Rule number 1, learn the colors of the rainbow. Does that seem like a fair rule to you? Thumbs up, thumbs down. That seems fair. How can we teach the preschoolers what the colors are if we don't learn the colors ourselves? So don't worry. If you don't already know the colors of the rainbow, you're in luck because I'm going to teach them to you right now. Well, actually, I'm going to get Jack Hartman's help to teach you the colors of the rainbow. So Jack Hartman, I think we've seen some of his videos before. He wrote this song about the colors of the rainbow. If you click the blue button up in the top right-hand corner, you can listen to his song to learn about the colors of the rainbow. Don't forget, before you click that blue button up in the top right-hand corner, pause this video, and then you'll go on, you'll watch Jack Hartman's song about the colors of the rainbow, and then come back to this video and unpause for more learning. I'll see you soon. I hope you enjoy the song, and I hope that you learn the colors of the rainbow so we can teach them to the preschoolers. All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that song about Roy G. Biv. So now we've learned the colors of the rainbow. That was rule number 1. Fair rule, I think, right? Now rule number 2 says color the rainbow below, making sure to use the correct colors in the correct order. Now I have created something to help you because even though we watched that video, it might be hard to remember the correct order of the colors of the rainbow. So I'll show you what I made. Okay, I created this colors of the rainbow visual support. So let's just go through the colors together. R stands for red. O stands for, say it with me, orange. Y stands for yellow. G stands for green. B stands for blue. I stands for indigo. V stands for violet. So does rule number 2 seem pretty fair, to color the rainbow, making sure to use the correct colors in the correct order? What do you think? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Is that a fair rule? Yeah, we want to make sure that when we teach those preschoolers that we teach them the right order of the colors, right? And that sheet that I just showed you, your teacher can leave that up on the screen for you to see so that you could keep looking back to make sure that you color in the colors in the right order. If you're at home, you can leave that up on your screen, or you could even print it out if you would like. Let's look at rule number 3. Rule number 3 says only use a pencil for this activity. Is that rule fair? Thumbs up, thumbs down. My thumb is down. How can we color the colors of the rainbow if we're only allowed to use a pencil? That doesn't seem like a fair rule. We won't be able to teach the preschoolers what the colors are with just a pencil, right? Like even if we wrote the names of the colors, preschoolers don't read yet, so they won't be able to learn them. So, I think we need to speak up. I think we need to let Miss Erica know that rule number 3 is not a very fair rule. What do you think? Should we call her? Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to call her. All right, let me see here. I have my phone. Miss Erica. Oh, here's her phone number. Okay. It's ringing. Hi, Miss Erica. Hi, it's Mrs. Miller. Yes, I'm just here with the kindergartners, and we are happy to make a rainbow to teach your preschoolers about the colors of a rainbow, but there's just one problem. Yeah, well, the problem is one of your rules isn't very fair. So rule number 3 says to only use a pencil for this activity. And we were thinking if we only use a pencil, we won't be able to show the colors. Right, yeah. We were thinking that maybe we should use markers or crayons instead. What do you think about that? You'll change the rule? Thank you, Miss Erica. We really appreciate it. Okay. Oh, you'll send it right over? All right, great. Thanks so much. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was easy. Changing rules it's not always that easy to change rules. But the important thing is we saw a rule wasn't fair and we spoke up about it. So I have just checked my email. I paused the recording of this video and I went and I checked my email, and I have good news. Miss Erica sent us a new activity sheet and she changed that rule. Look here. She crossed out only use a pencil for this activity, and instead she wrote use markers or crayons to color the rainbow. That's a much better rule, right? All right. So today, it was so much fun learning with you today. And you can go on now that we fixed the rules, so that we can accomplish this important task, now you could go on to color in this rainbow using the colors of the rainbow here to guide you. Have fun, everyone, and thanks for doing this favor for Miss Erica and the preschoolers, and thank you for speaking up to change that rule. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.